What's going on, you guys? Nick Ciccone back again with another video. I hope you guys are all doing very well. For today's video, it's myself, but also a special guest. I got my boy here, one of my great friends, to get some insight on today's topic, and that is my boy, Logan Reed.
What's up?
Today's video, I wanted to get some insight from someone that's very knowledgeable of a certain aspect of clothing, because as you guys already know, from the videos that I posted already on the channel, I'm really into fashion, I'm really into clothes, but there's a different side of fashion and clothing. So today's video, we're going to be talking about utilitarian style clothing and its place in streetwear fashion, or better yet, why not call it fashion versus function? So, sounds pretty good, right?
That's what I'm about.
All right, fashion versus function. That will be today's topic, and we will discuss it in depthly. So let's start out with the main issue at hand here. Clothing in general, right? Mm-hmm. As of right now, the line in the sand, the gray area has expanded upon utilitarian clothing that's been used for ages now, since these companies have been established, for functionality, but also people that are really into fashion in general, or expression, self-expression through clothing, have sort of mixed a little bit of this utilitarian style clothing into their wardrobes to want to utilize and experiment with into more fashionable ways. You know, they mix it in with streetwear clothing, and it's kind of gotten into this gray area. So for you personally, you're really into utilitarian style clothing like North Face, Patagonia, Columbia, because you're really into like this action sport scene. You're like an outdoor enthusiast, you know?
Camping and hiking.
Yeah, I'm into it as well,
all that stuff
but
we do.
Yeah, but not as much as my boy Logan here. You're really into the North Face aesthetic style, and you're really into the lifestyle that goes along with it, which is like I just said, outdoor enthusiast, hiking, adventuring almost, and utilizing this utilitarian clothing to benefit you when you're out there doing these adventurous things, right? That the clothing was designed for.
Exactly.
And what would you say is the best benefit of spending your money and investing into this style of clothing?
The reason that I look into these specific things as opposed to just going to Walmart and buying a jacket or a backpack is like just durability and the longevity that I would get out of the product.
Right.
If you go with companies like North Face that have been around for forever and make lifetime guaranteed products, especially Patagonia, which will replace anything. You get a slight tear, they'll just give you a new one. I know for a fact that when I buy that jacket, I can keep it in my arsenal for years.
Right.
I know it's not going to fail me, especially if I'm using it occasionally. Then I have a nice jacket that I've invested in that will stay nice and will stay durable and warm as long as I need it. The
main perspective that a lot of people have that would say, I would say, have this sort of a mindset that Logan does with buying clothing, right? So you're very keen on buying products that actually, like you said, serve the purpose that they're meant for. Exactly. But at the same time, the benefits that come from companies like Patagonia, North Face, Columbia is primarily North Face and like Patagonia. They have a really beautiful design, but it's also like this product does what it's supposed to do, but it looks good. Yeah. That kind of brings me to the idea of the demand of this type of utilitarian style, especially in the realm of streetwear. So as most of you guys already know, streetwear has a really big influence on youth culture and fashion, music. A lot of stuff culminates together into like this big melting pot, and streetwear kind of takes advantage of all these different things, cherry picks bits and pieces out of like youth culture and utilizes it for clothing. So Supreme is a pretty well-known brand. Most of you guys know it. That's Supreme.
Might have heard of it.
Supreme has a huge influence on utilitarian clothing because their collaborations with North Face come out once a year, and they always kill it. And that's the weirdest part is you look at North Face, and for the most part, people go in, buy North Face gear because they're going to be using it for the purpose that it's intended for, right? Absolutely. The audience, I would say, the demographic that's attracted to North Face is maybe higher than in age than what most people are attracted to the Supreme North Face collab. More experience with outdoor recreational activities like hiking or mountain climbing and stuff like that. And these products,
more opportunities to do those things.
Right, and these products are geared towards that type of lifestyle. Absolutely. But those that are involved in streetwear, of course, are I would say accurately and factually a lower demographic than those that would go into like a North Face store. So you know, teenagers, early 20s, you know, even younger kids, even if you go on like complex.com and see them covering the Supreme drops, I mean, you have 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds waiting in line with their moms.
Really?
Yeah, because
for Supreme North Face collabs.
Yeah, not even just that, just Supreme drops in general, but even the North Face stuff. I mean, some of the hottest gear that drops every year from Supreme is the North Face collaborations, right? And so this is where the gray area comes into play, which is what Supreme is doing with North Face. They are making functional clothing. It's not like
it's all the same products.
It's all the same products, but they're putting their spin on it, which different patterns, different logos, even to the smallest extent of just changing one color on the entirety of the jacket and slapping a Supreme patch on it. Usually, I would guess around $300.
That's even a little steep.
Okay,
I think I paid
$250 maybe.
I think I paid $150. Mine's the lighter. Thermo ball.
But like a puffy snow jacket.
Snow jacket. Yeah, $250.
$250. Supreme does a collaboration on the same exact jacket.
At a zero.
At a zero, yes.
At least.
All right. So, what's your perspective on the idea that a lot of these, you know, people that are involved in streetwear and street culture, especially Supreme's style of like street fashion, spending this much money, you know, $1,500, $1,000 on a Supreme North Face jacket, when in general this same exact jacket could be bought, used, and warranted at the North Face store for almost a fraction of the price that they'd be paying on resale for the Supreme collaboration.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool. I think that, you know, whatever you're passionate about, you should invest in. Yeah. Like I'm paying still a good amount of money for this stuff, and then maybe spending more on using it, because like I'm not just buying it and walking around town. Like we go camping and hiking, and like that stuff costs money. So I'm still making similar investments into things I'm passionate about. But personally, I obviously would not be interested in spending that much. It's a $99 North Face jacket.
Yeah.
That's all it is. They just put a print on it.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna pay $1,000, my brain instantly goes to the opportunity cost of, okay, what could I get for that $1,000?
Yeah.
What could it provide for me? Because that's cool, but it's not what I'm really passionate about. You could give me I don't care, you can give me a bright pink jacket, but if it's gonna keep me dry or keep me warm or fulfill its purpose while I'm out there,
you're gonna utilize this.
It's what it is.
Product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather not. I'd rather still kind of customize and have my own personal style with it. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get through the mountain without getting wet. Like we're just trying to.
Yeah.
It's fulfilling a purpose.
And this is a big hot topic on you know, fashion in general, you know, utilizing these different types of collaborations that in general are really dope. I mean, like collaborating brands that you never see collaborate before, it almost opens up the door for people to get into like a certain marketplace for these products that haven't had experience or exposure to them before.
Yeah, it's marketing.
Do they warrant the price because of how unique they are? You know, are you ever going to find a product like that map jacket ever again? You know, will North Face say, can we use that design again in the future? Like, they haven't yet, but like, it came out.
I doubt they will.
I mean, there's of course, the map jacket, the paisley jackets, like they have the same kind of design, but all paisley, just like from top to bottom, like the paisley logo. Really cool stuff that, you know, North Face would never just do. Yeah. You know? Because it's like including and weaving themselves into street culture by doing these collaborations, these designs. So it's allowing for like the expression to come out of these two collaborating brands, and it's allowing these items to almost like be archived in the history of like clothing. You know, getting past that. For those of you that are really into this utilitarian style, utilizing North Face jackets, pants, and incorporating them with like a little bit of a street flair, you know, wearing, you know, I think it's a cool look to have like a, you know, North Face like windbreaker, but pair that in with a nice pair of like crop pants, even throw on some like Adidas or some Vans, like old schools on there. I mean, you can get like a really cool look, you know, that gives you like a bit of both worlds. What is, in your opinion, the best alternatives? Like, are there specific items that you would say this is a nice go-to item for someone that wants to get into North Face and as a starting product, and then eventually what would you want to build up to, and what do you like particularly product-wise about these utilitarian brands like North Face, Patagonia?
I mean, like we've mentioned Columbia, you know, they're the same high quality stuff that's coming out from North Face and Patagonia. So I think that's definitely the best way to get into it is through Columbia. You can find some other brands too, but it's the one that I've gravitated to. Like I really wanted the Patagonia Better sweater, just a nice fleece pullover, and I couldn't really justify spending the price on it. Here in Florida, we really don't need that much warmth. It's a light jacket, but you know, I wasn't sure what we needed yet. So I wanted to get into that, see if I would use it without dropping the price tag. So I bought the Columbia fleece pullover. I think it was like $30 compared to, you know, I think it's like 60, 75 for the Patagonia. It's still a good amount of money, but yeah, and it's great. I love it, and I use it a lot. So we'll see as winter comes up. A lot of the Patagonia stuff, they're going into their new season, or however that works.
Oh yeah, so like for those of you that don't know, I mean, I utilize this as best as I can on the major designer websites like Essence or Barney's New York. During summer and winter, they have their blowout sales, up to 75% off on products. This occurs also with these utilitarian brands, you know, these active sportswear brands.
I didn't even know it happened on this level. It makes sense. Like we were looking at the Patagonias, it's like up to 50% off sale.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff isn't in the right size. It's still a good place to look. There's some things that I'm gonna look at buying today just because you know,
you can get the good
out.
price.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you can go on a website and get super good sales on, you know, standard t-shirts. Like, you know, I get all my Alexander Wang t-shirts for like up to 75% off their normal price sometimes. Like, you can get these products for super cheap as long as you wait and you're patient. Same goes for this kind of, you know, activewear. Yeah. So I guess that'll lead us into what Logan's super into. He brought over a couple of his items that we're going to show off to you guys.
I brought some stuff.
And we're probably going to do a little showcase on how we would style them in particular. I have more of a fashion-centric idea of how I would put things together, but you know how things look good in this North Face style. You know,
I think I could use some help.
All right, and doing this little collaboration could get something really dope out of it. But what do we have here today? I know this is your most recent item.
This is the North Face Base Camp Duffel. This is the size medium. I think it's like 72 liters.
All right.
They make a bunch of different sizes of this, which was the main reason I was interested in it, because if I end up loving the bag, then they have a bag for everything. You can get a gym bag. This is a little oversized for a carry-on, but I took it on my most recent trip and it was totally fine.
Yeah.
But this thing is awesome. Like, back to aesthetics for a second, every bag I've owned before this is black. Just all black out, even black stitching if I can get it. But
this,
if you can tell, this isn't a black bag. This is very far from it.
This is like a caution yellow.
Yeah, I call it Summit Gold.
Okay, that's a nice sounding name. Yeah. That's a nice design for the bag, but it also doubles as a backpack too, right?
Absolutely.
Like with the straps.
Yeah, that's my favorite part about this. It's also the controversial part so far is, in order to get into the bag, you do have to loosen the straps, which on my blog I talk about that. I have a recent post of just like a first look at this. I want to get some more time with it before I do a full review, but that's the one thing I mentioned is like, it's serving a utility purpose like we're talking about. So if I need to get into the bag, I don't want there to be a bunch of steps.
Yeah.
Which, it's not a problem yet. I don't think it will be, especially just, I love the straps. They're so comfortable. Like, I wear it like a backpack. I bought it to be a duffel, and it's a backpack now, basically.
Because North Face has a beautiful design team, so they know how to make a product that clearly is very simplistic in its execution, but it does everything you need it to do and more, but looks good at the same time. So
yeah, and this is a real classic look too. Like, this bag, I don't know when it first came out, like the original release of like a base camp.
Yeah.
But the reason I bought this bag was because I saw someone doing a review of the same gold one, and it looked like they had taken it around the world for the past like 30 years.
Oh yeah.
And it had seen everything, and it was still in good condition.
That's dope.
So that's what I want. I want a bag that I can keep for a while. I'm gonna buy something I love that's more expensive than a normal one, because I know that it can see the world with me, and then I'll come back and it means something.
Yeah, yeah. Although North Face is available to everyone on so many different retail stores, including their own on their website. There's a lot of really dope utilitarian styled brands and sub-brands that are out right now for everybody to take advantage of and utilize before
they might not know about.
That they might not know about, utilize before they get big, before they would eventually blow up, if they do, which is a definite possibility for a lot of these brands we're going to talk about. But like, what are some of your go-to brands now that you're really into that are a little bit more underground compared to your standard Patagonia, Columbia?
Alright, well I don't want to throw Timbuktu into the underground category necessarily, because
something a little bit unknown to the mainstream.
Yeah, you may have not heard of them.
Yeah.
But same thing, just a really good bag company. They focus mostly on like cycling and commuting style things, so they have a lot of messenger bags and a lot of like collabs with cycling companies as well.
Cool.
And they make really good products. I own the Uptown and the Spire, which are two of my favorite bags. I have some reviews on my blog as well. Yeah, so they make really good products. I love Timbuktu. I also really have been into, but haven't copped and thrown down on, a brand called Mission Workshop. They've been around for a little while. It was two guys from Chrome, which is a similar brand, makes really good cycling backpacks. I think you said you've seen some of their like, photography-based bags and stuff.
Yep. You can get these really cool designs, you know, and pair these things with like a Nike Lab style of like athletic workwear. It's a dope kind of look that a lot of people can take advantage of really with this like, you know, pairing them with runners, and it gives like this really cool technical look to a sneaker, right?
Yeah.
And you would immediately think like New Balance, Asics, like
yeah, my brain was like oh, don't buy those.
But when you look at some of the amazing collabs they do with like Kith and such in New York, they make some of the most beautiful looking silhouettes that can be paired really amazingly with products like this, right?
Yeah.
So potential is always there for products like this, regardless if it's function versus fashion. In this case, it's all clothing, and it'll all be utilized by whoever the hell wants to buy it, whoever the hell wants to support it too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so that's basically our insight on most of these products, our ideas on the opinions of those that support the collaborations, you know, with Supreme and such, and those that are true blue fans of these active outdoor enthusiast brands, like my boy Logan here. We're gonna do a little bit of a detour and show you guys how we would style some of these products. Logan has a couple of them that he brought out, and expect that. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, guys. Go check out Logan's blog. It will be linked in the description. Collegiate Review.
Check it out, man. We got lots of different things. I'm working on it right now. We're doing mostly reviews is the goal. That's why it's in the name. All the different backpacks I like, and then just some general advice stuff too. Like I just transferred to college up at UNF, like we said in Jacksonville. I surf and I skate a lot, and I have a lot of different perspectives that I think could really help some people.
Oh yeah. So. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. I hope you have an excellent day. I appreciate it, and I'll see y'all in the next video.